You're gonna lead it off in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Welcome everyone to Sports Opinions with Regular Guys. This is episode. I made a mistake last week. It was actually we're actually on episode 21. So this is episode 21. Some of the episodes I wasn't in, but anyway, I'm Frank. This is Mike, and we have Anthony back again.
Big Ant.
And we're gonna discuss quite a few subjects. Some stuff has gone on this last week since our last show. We're gonna get into some Bulls talk, NBA talk, a little bit of some NFL. A little quiet week for NFL actually, except there was some news, but nothing. I guess it's major, but not that much NFL news. And then we're gonna end the show with with everyone else is talking about around the world, the slap heard around the world with classless Will Smith slapping Chris Rock in front of hundreds of millions of people on TV. And we'll get into that towards the end of the show because, that's at the request of Mike here who wants to really talk about it a lot. But anyway, let's get into it. So the Bulls had a quality win finally. A quality win, not just a win, but a quality win.
Right.
Against a quality opponent last night. Even though it took them to overtime to do it, but they beat the LA Clippers with Mark DeRozan's 50 points, and they pretty much need almost every bit of them, too, just to win this game. And the Bulls actually got to 45 wins, the first time they had 45 wins since the last year that we had Jimmy Butler here with Dwayne Wade and Rondo. I don't know if you guys remember that.
I do remember
I think that was the last time that they've won this many games. But they end up getting a good win, a good quality win against the Clippers. You had it was a 135 to 130 overtime victory. It shouldn't have gotten to overtime. DeRozan would have made his final free throw. He had 3 of them to actually win the game. But
I can't believe you criticized.
They got a win. But
that was tough, man.
But
we were watching that together last night, and I thought that was crazy that you were criticizing that at that time. This man by himself brought us back. When no one else wanted to take that tough shot, when Levine was getting covered, was getting doubled and hammered, and wasn't, finishing, even and ones that it was rare for any of the Bulls players to get last night. But, the man willed us back into the game. That last call to get us to the free throw line, I didn't fault him for that, and then he more than made up for it in the fourth quarter. I mean, in overtime. So. Sorry, I had to interrupt that because I feel like Lamar is not getting his proper due from you right now.
Well, they came up to play the game. Don't get me wrong, the Bulls did finally, but like I was saying before, I think that they are tired. They put all that energy into the first half of the season, and they needed it because look how tight the East is. And then since the All-Star break, they are one of the worst teams in the league. I mean, the facts are facts. They've only won a handful of games since the All-Star game, and that's been over a month and a half ago at this point.
That's why it's an 82-game season. That's why it's a long season, and just not 60 games or 40 games because you got to play out through a season, man. This is a new built team. It's going to take some time for them to get everything together. You can see the struggles in the end when they were not talking no defense and things like that. Little things like that, when a team has already been together for like 1-2 years and know the playbook, man, it's a different situation, man.
Do you think they're do you not think that they're tired?
No.
The second half of the season?
Every NBA player
now
is tired. They're beat up, tired, hurt.
Exactly.
But that's just part of the game. This is why they get paid millions of dollars to play a game.
All I'm saying is that it looks to me since the All-Star break, practically before the All-Star break, but they're playing like it. That's why they're losing all these games. That's why I think that I don't see the same effort, I should say, strong effort like they did earlier in the season.
No, they're trying to win. I mean, that's why they have to keep coming back. You notice every game they play, they're coming from a comeback, but they pull it out. I mean,
I don't think it has to do with Ball being out. I mean, he's just one player. He's not that big of a difference. They got everyone else together.
That's obviously that's not true because obviously since he's not been around, we do need that extra 3-point shooter. Not only that, when he was able to take over, a ball could either drive or he was going to shoot. And then not only that, he was guarding when he's on the floor. You don't have to send help defense to go help like him guard somebody like Giannis or like Durant. He can actually play one-on-one with that person, so you don't need to send an extra body to go help him out. He gets steals. Come on now, him and Caruso was leading in steals at one point. So that was our lockdown defense right
I
there,
believe
man.
the whole thing is one of the issues that they're having is Levine. I think he's hurt. I think he's playing hurt.
Yeah, they are hurt.
And no, I think because you see how he's playing. I hate to say, he's not playing like he was playing in the early part of the season.
Well,
I think he is. I think his that knee is bothering him.
I agree.
And I think he has not played the same. He's not been scoring the same. That guy was shooting threes like
Chris
Chris
Paul is hurt. Everybody's hurt, man.
It's
Everybody's
a long
But-
season.
but-
it's a lot
but-
of running.
But you have teams like you said, Milwaukee, Boston, even the Nets are
Middleton
coming up
got
here.
hurt. Come on,
But
now.
I'm saying these
KD
teams are
got
not.
hurt.
But these teams are not really.
Everybody
They've
got
gone
hurt.
up. The Bulls were in first place a
Look,
month ago. They got
Curry
going
hurt.
down to fifth
Same
place.
thing
Well,
with
this
the
is-
Warriors too.
Right.
So
And who would have saw Boston coming from 10th place?
it's all about streaks.
to
When you
competing
get
for
hot.
first place. It's just the way it is. The East is rough right now. The East is a very rough division. I mean, period.
I think the
Conference.
NBA in general is rough, man. I mean, you come on now, Denver, all these other teams, also in the West, man. You can lose any given night.
Well, it'll be an improvement because they're at 45 wins. Like I said, last year they only won 30 games.
Be happy, man. Be happy you be a Bulls fan.
Well, I'm glad that they're
in the right
competing.
direction.
Yes, they are, and they are competing. That's all I ask for is just watching some of the games sometimes, especially
of
against
course.
teams like New York. God, they should
Of
not.
course.
How the hell do you lose to the shitty ass Knicks? I'm sorry. It's just, I don't know.
I hear you,
I mean,
but-
that's just.
Like I said,
That's just ridiculous. You don't lose to crap
They're-
teams like the Knicks.
But the Knicks were on a 4-game winning streak.
Nah, I
at that
don't
point.
care.
So, I mean, it's not like
Hot
they just
streaks, man.
only beat the Bulls. They were on a winning streak.
No,
They ended
why
up
did the
beating
Bulls
us.
lose to them? They should not have lost to them. That's all I'm saying.
Why did Detroit, beat the 76ers? So, I mean,
Because they
it
probably
happened.
didn't play anybody.
Nah,
They probably benched
Embiid-
everyone.
Embiid was playing.
He probably played limited minutes.
No, he played the whole game, sir. Check his minutes.
And did Harden play? I didn't see the results of the game, but
Harden did play. Harden has his nights, man. I mean, you guys are scared to play Philly in the playoffs, but to be honest with you, guess who doesn't play good in the playoffs?
Harden.
Okay, then. So I mean, they did trade a lot. They don't got Curry.
I don't think that's fair.
Well, I mean, they
Let's
gave up
see.
someone who wasn't going to show up in the playoffs either. Who wasn't going to play this season, and
But-
that's Simmons.
To back up what you guys just said, yeah. Harden's numbers tonight, he was 4 for 15 from the field.
I take it.
You
I'll
know,
take it.
He had 18 points, 9 boards, and 7 assists. 38 minutes.
You don't see
Four
Middleton and the
for
Greek Freak
15
doing
from the
that.
field. That's not good numbers at all.
Exactly. So
So yeah, they lost the game because of him. Yo, speaking of Philly, did you guys catch what Doc Rivers said last night
No, what did he say?
with the loss that they had?
What did he say?
When they were questioning him, they were asking him about why he thinks that they lost. He basically, they said, do you think it's because of the bench, lack of scoring, or Maxey? He said no. He said it was mostly James Harden.
mm-hmm.
He just put him out there just like he did Ben Simmons. He basically put the game on James Harden not playing to his potential out there right now.
Well, he also could have added that we got rid of one of our bench players, Seth. Was it Steph? Oh God, what's his name?
Seth Curry.
Seth Curry. God, I mean.
Hey, he'll bother me.
Yeah, no. What I'm saying
He's
is
very
that
good.
was bench scoring that Philly gave up.
Automatic 16.
Now you
16
weren't.
to 18
They
points.
they weren't giving up anything with Ben Simmons. They let him go. They just you can go away.
Mhm.
But when they had to get rid of Curry, that was to do some of their bench scoring, so they're going to struggle a little bit with that.
Yep.
James Harden's supposed to pick that up because he could
He
be a
hasn't
30.
been the same, man, since he left Houston. He just
Well, he's
hasn't
still
been.
capable of putting up 30 points
He
in a
got hurt. He
night.
got hurt in Brooklyn, man.
I think-
The age is starting to catch up
Yep.
to him now, man.
A lot of wear and tear. All those
Yeah.
years carrying Houston.
Yeah. It
all
happens
those
to NBA
years.
players, man.
You guys keep talking about how he doesn't perform well in the playoffs. You know why? Because he was in Houston all these years, and he was the only man out there. He was playing ISO They had to clear out the way for him in the playoffs. It was all him.
That step back was nasty, though.
It was all him.
Foul
so
call every
all
time.
this right now is wear and tear from all these years carrying a team on your back. So
Well, them shots not falling down like they were neither.
You're right.
You couldn't leave him open for nothing.
You're right.
Or you couldn't really been guarding him because he would have stepped back on you regardless.
I think his hamstring issue that keeps happening over and over is I think he's playing with an injury. I don't think he's getting his legs under him like he used to before. I think he's playing a little bit injured, as a matter of fact, because like as a shooter, you don't really lose your shot like that, and I feel like he just doesn't have
lift.
his legs under him to do it. So that's the reason why
he has to do it in spurts.
Yep. It's just not happening. He's not coming down the middle and dunking the ball no more. It's just he just looks different. Unfortunately, age does catch up. Like, yep.
Well,
that
could be the case.
Yeah, 37 points and 15 boards.
But I still think he can still put up 30 points anytime. Sometime, he's not like he'll come out tomorrow or whatever and they play again. Would be surprised if he puts up 38 points.
They're playing the Hornets, so yeah, he probably will put up 30 points.
But what is going back to one thing on the Bulls? So what is your opinion with the Bulls now?
So as we watched the game last night, I was a little disappointed because of how you weren't liking the game, and I can understand why you weren't liking the game because we were losing, and we don't like watching the Bulls lose. I was really impressed by DeMar DeRozan. Basically, he said, "Give me the ball. I'm going to carry this team," and that's exactly what he did.
You know who stepped up big? Patrick Williams, man.
Boy, he has a name for him.
Trade bait.
Trade bait. He wants him gone.
What?
I don't understand how you want him gone. He just came back.
So he did hit a big 3 yesterday.
He played defense too.
He does.
Okay.
What numbers?
He has to get in the game shape.
What numbers does he really bring to the team? 8 points,
How many
3
games
boards.
he played? He's only played
He played 5 games.
Yeah.
So
5 games.
Exactly.
He's
so
a sophomore.
He wasn't supposed to be back. He wasn't supposed to be back this season.
So for me, if I had a choice, go ahead, keep playing well, sell yourself, advertise yourself. I would trade Patrick Williams.
You sound like a typical Bulls fan.
I would trade Patrick.
You know why?
Williams.
Because every time we get somebody good, like he's a rookie, young, we trade him away, and then guess what? 5 years down the line, he's like raw. All of a sudden, he's snapping.
I mean,
they do have.
We get him for a seasoned guy that's gonna give you 12 points a night, 5 boards a night, 5 assists a night, rather than 8 points sporadically.
They play
and then
small
playing,
ball now,
and also
man.
playing. Like,
he fits that. Trust me. Give him some time. He fits that.
I still call him trade bait, but
yeah,
we'll
you
see.
trade him. You trade him on his last year of his rookie contract if you don't like him. You know what I
Okay.
mean? You got to give him.
Give him a little bit more time
Because
see
he was
what
killing.
happens.
He was killing in the summer league. He was killing D League. He was doing all the things that he's supposed to do, man. So he's still young. I think he only got to be like 22, 23 years
I
old.
don't think he's that old, but yeah, he's a young man.
Give him some time. Man.
We'll see. We'll see what happens.
But you in development, man. You just want the players to be just all stars off the top, like. They just come out of college just supposed
We
to
see
balling,
we
huh?
see talent all the time. You see people come out and you see the
You gotta
flash
see
of
development
greatness.
too.
You see the flash of greatness. They move different. They shoot a little different. Like Io, see Io. You see he's different. His defense,
But he had to get
shot,
used to it. He had a lot of playing time, didn't he?
his mentality, everything you see him, you can see he's gonna be a great player. Like he's already great now. He's gonna be an even greater player as he gets up to game speed and everything like that. But as far as Patrick Williams,
Yeah, but hold on.
I haven't seen anything like that.
Hold on.
Like,
Io came out of college being a scorer, though.
mhm.
Okay, that's not Patrick Williams' like total game. He's a team player. He's more of that power forward like Mr. Green. You know what I mean? But he doesn't need to shoot the ball. But he's gonna guard your best. You remember, it's a 2 parts of the game, man. You're gonna need defense and offense. Let the offense develop. He already has the defense part.
Yeah. Okay.
You need defense. You got to stop somebody, right?
We'll watch him develop a little bit more.
You got to.
I'll watch him develop a little bit more, but So far, I haven't seen anything that's that impressive.
There's a reason why he's on
You
the
know.
starting lineup. There's got to be a reason that he's starting in the starting lineup.
Well, we'll see. We'll see what happens after this year.
And of course, the Bulls. I know you want to mention this. They get no respect from the referees.
They don't.
Oh no, of course.
Levine
not.
gets hammered, no
Of
call.
course.
You know, DeRozan's the only one that gets decent calls. And how many free throws did he get last night? Like what, 7, 9 because of overtime? That's ridiculous.
Vontae Green get hammered all
Green
the time. Man.
gets no
Yeah,
calls.
they were calling some
Jones Jr. gets no calls.
Yeah, they were getting some.
We haven't even seen him in a couple games.
Caruso gets no calls.
Oh, of course not.
I mean,
But no, you do get some of the calls on the picks.
it has to be really
bad.
bad. Like they gotta get him down on his
No,
back.
yeah, they don't give us any
You know.
love on the calls.
And that's crazy to me because
Yeah.
when you look at the free throw discrepancy and they're like, these guys had 22 free throws shot already, and we only had 3. How? How is that? Because I'm watching us getting fouled and no calls are happening. And here's another thing. Like Frank, he's always saying, keep going to the cup till they make the call. Well, look what happens with us. After 3-4 trips down there, they hammer us. We get no call. They go back the other way and they score 2 points or possibly a 3. Now all of a sudden you look up, you're down 9-10 points. It's like, man.
We gotta earn it, man. We just gotta earn it though. But they can't be sitting there crying about it too. They ain't gonna get the call.
But Giannis gets
But
goes up and he
What is Giannis though? Giannis is a MVP title, NBA
But I
title
think
winner, man.
a rule is a rule, man.
But what I think is
Obviously, rules is not for everybody.
Well, what the Bulls should do is not. I wouldn't necessarily put the heat on the players. I believe the coach needs to say something, and in the press conferences, like
get fined.
Then get fined. To make the NBA listen and open up their ears and pay attention, then you're gonna get your calls.
He's gonna get $20,000.
That fine's not coming out of your paycheck. It's coming out of his paycheck.
Is it even coming out of his paycheck? I'm sure Reinsdorf and them will say, you know what? Don't worry about it. Say what you need to say. Maybe we'll get some calls now. And here, I'll pay the fine for you.
I find that hard to believe.
I don't find it hard to believe at all.
When you become the NBA specialist, so like,
I mean, come on. Honestly, do some of them even pay these fines? We're talking about $1 billion company, $1 billion franchise. You know, the owner's like, I'm gonna back my players. Don't worry about it. I'll take care of that.
Yeah, well, billionaire wants to lose like $50,000.
What is $50,000 to a billionaire?
$50,000. Shoot, that's still not the car.
Yeah, to a billionaire. I own two major sports franchises, and I'm worried about a $50,000.
It's probably
fine.
gas for their yacht. For high gas prices are.
For real.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, shit.
For us, yes, but for billionaires, it's nothing. No matter how the damn economy is and the gas prices are, it won't hurt them. They'll write it off on some expense or something. But anyway,
you gotta put gas in the yacht too, my brother. Shit.
They'll write it off as a tax write-off. We don't have to pay no tax on it. That's what they do. But look, the point is, I think the Bulls are. We'll see what happens these next few games. Now, what is their schedule coming up? Right now they're at 45 and 32.
On a 2-game winning streak.
They had 77 games they played, right?
On a 2-game winning
So
streak.
they've got 5 games left, right? What's the rest of the schedule?
Yeah, so right now, let's see. Tomorrow we got the Heat. That's going to be a tough game. If Tyler Hero plays, we might lose that one.
Oh, my God. You are his biggest fan now, huh?
It's definitely not Jimmy Butler that's going to put him over the hump.
Mr. Hero.
After that, we got the Bucks. On April 5th.
At Milwaukee or at
That's
Chicago.
going to be a tough game.
It's here.
It's here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what, man? We due for one big game. We got to win, man. So
And then after that, we got the Boston Celtics.
We can beat Boston.
Which I think we can beat Boston. They ain't got no big man. Their big man
We
got
beat
hurt.
Boston twice, didn't we?
Yeah, their big man
I think
got
right.
hurt.
I think
They
they
got
currently hold the tiebreaker.
And of course, we got the Charlotte Hornets on
That's
April
a
8th.
beatable team.
So we can beat them also. We usually get them.
I don't know. Timberwolves might give us a little trouble, man. That's still a beatable team, though. They haven't been playing better.
I think out the next 5 games, we're going to win about 2 or 3. I think those are definitely good numbers. Right now, we're in 5th place. So Miami already clinched. Milwaukee clinched. Boston clinched. And I'm pretty sure Philly, with their next win, is going to clinch, a playoff berth.
Wow, Boston already clinched.
Yes, they do.
Now look at this. The Bulls are only 2 games in the loss column, yet they've already clinched a playoff spot.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
It's
when
only
we hit
5 games.
47
What
wins,
is that? So what is this with Charlotte? So they're in the ninth place. I don't know what that PB means. I don't know what that
It's
means.
like tied with the average for Brooklyn and Charlotte. The same record, 40.
Yeah, they do.
What's their conference? I have to go by the conference as a tiebreaker. So that's why Brooklyn is in eighth because they have a better conference record than Charlotte. So that's why Charlotte, when they're tied, they go by conference records.
It's
But
gonna be very interesting.
you look at number 1 through number 4 is only separated by 2.5 games. So the Bulls are still 1.5 games. So what? Okay, they don't play Philly again, right? I think they're finished with them. They got swept by them 4 straight.
Well, they have a problem with big men.
So they don't have. They lost a tiebreaker against Miami, against Milwaukee, against Philly. They don't hold any tiebreakers against them. Boston has already clinched. They're 2 games in the loss. Well, actually, 3.5 games behind Boston. I remember 2 weeks ago they were like 2 games ahead of Boston.
Yep.
I mean,
Boston came back. They were in 10th place at the All-Star break.
That's a prime setup for a first round upset. Whoever plays Boston can beat Boston in the first round. It'd be Toronto. I wouldn't be surprised if.
I'd be scared to play Brooklyn first round. I'm not gonna lie to you.
I would say the best chance the Bulls. I don't know. They'll either have to drop down. It might benefit them to let Toronto leapfrog them, and then they play Boston in the first round instead of playing Philly in the first round.
Man, you just want to win out your games and just make it to the playoffs. It's not about who you.
It's strategy because there's certain teams you don't want to play. If you drop to that 3-6, then
you will eventually probably have to play that team.
Yes, you will.
I mean, so
why
even...
But would you rather go through the easier road? Right now, Miami's vulnerable. They're 5-5 in the last 10.
The East is not easy in general, man. You can lose any one of those top.
Well, it's wide open.
Teams.
Of course, it's wide open. Now, what do you guys think of Brooklyn's? They're 6-4 in their last 10. Now, Kyrie is back because he can play home games again. So he's available for the full schedule. Now you got Brooklyn here at 40-37. They are currently in the 8th spot. That's a play-in spot. They're 2 games behind Cleveland for the 7th spot.
And they're all tied with Atlanta and the Hornets.
Now they played 77 games, the same amount of games as the Bulls.
Mm-hmm.
So this is why the Bulls are at 45 wins. You know, earlier before we did the show, you said they might not win another game, the Bulls. So if that happens and Brooklyn catches up to them, I would look at the Bulls might be in a play-in spot.
We don't play good against, above 500 teams, but, I think for the worst, just so it won't break my heart. So, yeah, of course I'm going to say, man, the Bulls might not win another game this season, but, I mean, I'm still rooting for them. You know what I mean? I want them to win, but you got to be realistic about it.
I think the teams are.
I mean, we're talking about Charlotte.
The teams are pretty much solidified.
Hey, Charlotte hungry, man.
If you look at this, Atlanta is the 10th seeded team. Right now, the team below them is Washington.
They're all tied.
Yeah, but I'm saying no. But look at the records; they're all tied. But look at number 11. All these teams have already been eliminated already.
Yeah.
So all the top 10 teams are already set.
Oh wow!
So
I didn't even realize.
All this now is just the seeding now of where everybody's been seeded. But all the teams are already clinched. It looks like they're already clinched.
So it's just a matter of where they're going to fall.
So basically, all these teams. So the Bulls have somewhat clinched a playoff spot. They clinched at least a play-in spot.
We just don't know what spot we're in. Right?
Yeah, they clinched a play-in spot, at least minimum. All these teams are Atlanta and all them too. In the West, it's not so much.
How did Golden State Warriors not clinch the spot yet?
Because
you got Phoenix did in first, Memphis did in second, Dallas did in fourth, but somehow in third.
Because Dallas is a division. Dallas won the division.
It don't matter about winning the division.
It does matter about winning the division because if you win your division, you're automatically in the playoffs. Golden State is not a division winner, so they have not clinched. They're one of the.
They have less losses than Mavericks do.
Yeah, but look behind them. You have Utah, you have Denver. That
doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, it doesn't.
Well, Golden State is not a division leader right now. Phoenix is.
I don't think the NBA playoffs goes anything.
It does go by that.
It doesn't have anything to do about divisions.
It does have to do about divisions because a division winner automatically gets a playoff spot, no matter how bad their record is.
That's
The
not
minimum,
football.
the minimum that they'll get is a 4th seed, is a division winner.
I don't know about that.
It is. They changed that years ago. They made it better. Before they did this, they made the change because you always had some team that always had a better record than the division, so they decided to take the top seeded, non-division team and put them at least a number 2 spot.
Mm-hmm.
And then they took a division. All the division does as you win a division just guarantees you a top 4 seed. That's all it guarantees you. Teams below, you can have the team in your division. You have the best team in the division, and everyone in that division could get into playoffs. And one of them are going to be left out. But because you have to give a division winner a playoff spot.
Got it.
So that's why. That's why Golden State
So
is
they're
not
gonna get something. They'll clinch it.
They'll clinch it within the next game
or two. Because that's crazy. But anyway, while we're on I was gonna get to that. So while we're on the West Coast, and we've been talking about the East and the Bulls, let's talk about the West. The Phoenix Suns are of course in first place, which Frank doesn't think they're gonna. All year he didn't think that they were going to win the championship, which I feel like that they are.
Who?
The Phoenix Suns.
Oh, come on.
We don't need to talk about them because we know what they've been doing. Chris Paul was out with an injury.
They lost tonight, by the way.
And basically,
Phoenix lost tonight, people.
And Devin Booker went out ahead and held the team down.
Who beat Phoenix tonight?
I know Phoenix lost tonight. They finally lost the game. They lost to the Grizzlies. And again, while we're on the West Coast, the Grizzlies without Ja Morant again. And that's not a knock to him because I love Ja Morant.
Right.
I do. Dude, I love Ja Morant. I put you on to Ja Morant.
No,
I
hear a lot of hate there.
And you saw him.
You don't think?
No, because I don't like the fact that you guys are sitting here talking about how he's an MVP.
He is playing like an MVP before he got hurt.
MVP caliber player, but he is an MVP caliber player, but he is not the MVP player on that team.
He has the second best team in the league.
The NBA.
They're the second best team in the league.
Let me explain why he's not. The reason why is, let's look at numbers. Like you just said earlier, numbers don't lie. Well, this season, while Ja's been hurt, they played 21 games without him. You know what that record's been? 19 wins and 2 losses without Ja Morant. And we're talking about quality teams like, who they beat tonight. Phoenix Suns, all without Ja Morant. No one has beaten the Phoenix. No one's beaten Phoenix. They just basically been running all over everybody. 19 wins and 2 losses without him. So
but they've won 36 games with him.
Whether he's on the team or not, it does not make a difference to Memphis because they're going to get their W's whether he's there or not.
I disagree with that. In the playoffs, it's a different animal. You know that. You're going to need him. If they're going to go anywhere in the playoffs, they're going to need him. You know why? Because they're going to play, if they go right now, let's say they play Minnesota or the Clippers.
Even Denver.
Clippers. Let's say the Clippers.
What? Denver? Oh, you talking about Jokic?
Yeah, you sleeping on Denver?
I'm not sleeping on him at all.
I was going to say, I think that was kind of
talk to this man here. He doesn't think Jokic is an MVP caliber
I'm not.
player.
I don't consider Denver they're going to make the playoffs, but they're not going to make any noise in the playoffs.
That's how you feel about that?
That's how I feel about that.
Let's be honest. To the second round.
Let's be honest.
Second round.
They may make it to the second. I'll give you. Who will they play? Go down to the West again.
Wait, what? Go back to the West.
Yeah. So, with the Western Conference, Denver would play Golden State in the first round.
Sleep on Denver, man.
Oh yeah, they're gonna go to sleep when they play the Warriors in the playoffs. That's what's gonna happen. So
I'm a Warriors fan, and I still anything can happen.
I'm pretty sure Curry will be playing in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Draymond Green will be in the playoffs.
I'm not going to bet you. I'm not going to have a gentleman's bet on it because I'm a Warriors fan and I know better. So.
Okay.
I wouldn't say I'm a Warriors fan. I don't have a problem with the team.
It's my second favorite team.
Of course. I don't have a problem with the Warriors. They're not the greatest team of all time, though. They have the best record of all time by one game, but they lost in the finals, so they're never going to be the best
Well,
team.
you'll always hold a grudge to that, huh?
Well,
They do hold the regular season's best record.
but they lost as many games in the playoffs as they did in the regular season,
Well,
and
we're
they didn't
talking
win.
about the regular
And they didn't win the
season.
championship.
Let's give them
So-
their credit. They took down the Bulls with the regular season.
And it
record.
doesn't mean a thing without a ring.
I understand we're from
So-
Chicago, so we're always.
And it
gonna
doesn't.
hate
And
on
I'll say that slogan from 25 years ago, or 28 years ago, whatever it was. It don't mean a thing without a ring.
Frank is gonna be shitting in his pants, and he's still gonna be saying,
Yep. Yes.
It don't mean a
Changing
thing
his
without a
old
ring.
man diapers.
They even had newspaper clippings of that, T-shirts of that. It don't mean a thing without a ring. That 73-9 means jack shit against, the 72 team that only lost 3 games in the playoffs that year and won the championship by a landslide. 72-10, 15-3 in the playoffs
All right.
with the championship. What did Golden State go? Oh, they lost like 9 games in the playoffs and didn't win the championship.
Yeah, but they got their championships regardless.
But they are a good team.
They
All I'm saying is,
they-
let's
that
not
is-
say that they're
is
better
a-
than the Bulls.
that is a
That's all I'm
dynasty-
saying.
That is a dynasty right there.
Yeah, well, yeah, you can't lie about the dynasty, man.
I won't say okay.
Right.
They got 3 championships. Fine.
Within a certain period of time, that was impressive.
That's impressive. You know who knows a dynasty? The Spurs were a dynasty.
They were.
Yeah,
They won
were.
5 championships
They were.
in a decade. So
that's not my favorite team, but yeah, I can understand.
so
But again, back to the MVP talks.
Morant is. You
John
gotta
Morant-
put him in the
John Morant
conversation.
cannot be in the conversation.
Yes, you
with
can.
that
You have to
because
put him in the
Of
conversation.
course, you got to. You got
An
to.
MVP is a most valuable player, meaning that if he is on your team and he is missing, you are hurting without him. Your
I
team
guarantee
will-
they're
your
not going to
team
go anywhere if he's
will
not playing the
lose in a lot of
playoffs.
statistical categories without this player. Memphis is just as good without him as he is there. I'm not saying to trade him or anything like that. I'm just saying he should be in the MVP conversation. The man is dynamic,
I think he's good coaching.
good
I
player.
think he's good coaching.
If John Morant doesn't play in the playoffs and they play Golden State, who do you have winning that series? With the help with Steve Kerr, I'm sorry,
Landslide.
Steph Curry,
Bring
Steph
out the
Curry
broom.
on Golden State.
Bring out the broom.
I call it a sweep.
Well, they're going to get their calls.
It's not that. It's just going to show you that Memphis is doing good in the regular season. I got that. But if they're going to go anywhere and make any kind of noise in the Western Conference, John Morant is going to have to be in there. And that's why you have to put him in as an MVP candidate. Because the man has had a career season, is an up-and-coming star, and look how dynamic he is.
Yeah, he is. He is.
Look what they're doing with him. I mean, hell, you're talking about 19-2 shit. They won 36 games with him. So
Yeah, I hear.
they
all that.
need him.
I hear that.
So I think that they may win the regular season, but if he's not in the playoffs, they're not going anywhere. Case in point for that. Remember when Derrick Rose tore his ACL against Philadelphia 76ers when Tibbs left him in the game too long? The Bulls were a number 1 team, and they lost to the 8th-seeded team in the playoffs.
Yep.
They won that game when Derrick Rose tore his knee up, but they lost that series. They
That
lost
is
the
an
rest of the games.
MVP because that is an MVP that's missing from your team. Now let's say if the Bulls were as good as the Memphis Grizzlies, even without Derrick Rose being there,
Hold on.
they would have won,
Yeah, you
just
know-
like they do without their
You
star
didn't,
player.
you didn't let me finish. That season, Derrick Rose was hurt a lot of times in that season because he had all these little nagging injuries, so he missed a lot of games that season.
Mm-hmm.
The Bulls still won many games. They still won almost 60 games. I think they won 60 games that year. They had the best record again in the league that year. Derrick Rose didn't play all the games.
And how did they do that?
How did they do that?
Yeah.
Derrick Rose didn't play all the games. You know who they had?
Who?
I believe did they have was Jimmy Butler drafted then? All right. So they used Jimmy Butler. They had Joakim Noah. Everyone stepped it up. They had the bench, what they called the bench mob that stepped it up. But in the playoffs, Derrick Rose played. He got hurt. And what happened? He was missed. He was out the rest of those playoffs. And the Bulls lost in the first
Yeah, I
round.
remember that.
An 8th-seeded Doug Collins, Bull BS crappy Philadelphia team that should not even been in the same conversation with the Bulls that year.
Yep.
End up beating them, I don't know, in 5 games or or 6 games.
Yeah,
That's all I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
If John Morant does not play in the playoffs, Memphis goes nowhere.
Okay.
I wouldn't be surprised if whoever, the Clippers, will beat them. You know, with Paul George coming back.
I don't know about that, but yeah, it's a good matchup. Not too many All-Stars.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying if Morant does not play, if he plays, then
they're
it's a wrap.
dynamic.
They're not going anywhere unless
They're
Kawhi Leonard
talented.
comes back. That's different.
They're just a good team.
If Kawhi Leonard comes back, then the Clippers, you got to put them up there with the top teams like Golden State.
And they got the
Memphis,
right
and-
big man in the middle with Steven Adams. Big strong man in the middle there.
Who, Aquaman?
Yeah.
Oh, bro, Aquaman.
Pretty much. I mean, their team is solid. They're a solid team.
They're paying Steven Adams $17 million, and John Morant's only getting $9.6 million. Well, that's going to change. Yep, that's going to change when he becomes a free agent.
Yep.
And I'm sure
And Dylan Brooks getting
they're going to throw
That's
about $300 million on his ass, and
It's gonna definitely be a big contract.
Oh yeah. Well, the max is like 5 or 6 years anyway, but it's going to be a very big contract those 5 or 6 years. But it may be worth it because let's see what they do.
All right.
Now, what about your LA Lakers? We were watching some of the game before the show started, and I see LeBron is playing again.
Yeah.
And they're only a half a game out of the final playoff spot.
Which they're battling with San Antonio.
And guess what? Your boy, Street Clothes, is out of Street Clothes. He's playing again. Anthony Davis, AD,
I'm positioning for him to get traded from the Lakers.
Who's going to take him? Why would a top team want to trade their best player?
That's Anthony Davis. That's why. He's a 7
Lakers, let's help you out. Give us your injury crappy players for our star players.
Not everyone is biased towards the Lakers as you are,
but,
man.
Okay, that's saying...
That's how they made deals. They gotta make deals. They're going to swap him with somebody.
Okay, that's like saying the Lakers going to Phoenix. Phoenix, give us Devin Booker.
They won't go there.
Give us Devin Booker, and we're going to give you Anthony Davis.
You wouldn't make that trade. Why would you make that trade?
Because we're the Lakers, and you have to give us your top player, and you give us our trash. We'll give you our trash. You give us our top player.
Anthony Davis not trash. Now, come on now. He's not trash. Now, he injury prone, but he's not trash.
Thank you.
Come on now.
He's a trashy Packers fan is what he is.
That's the only reason why you really don't like the man is because
he's injury prone.
And he's on the Lakers. So you are really biased with your certain things, man.
Well, that's how I am. It's
Two
just
words
an opinion.
you don't like. It's Lakers and Green Bay. Like,
no.
Wait
a minute. Hold on.
They both got this.
Hold on. No, I never said I didn't. I said I didn't like the Lakers. I don't care for any team that LeBron plays on. And my rule is this: if it's a team I don't like, I'll give the team respect if they're winning. But if a player if I don't like a team, if I don't like a team like the Packers, I don't like anybody on that team while they're playing for that team. Then you got certain players like LeBron.
But you gotta respect, you gotta respect greatness. How can you not respect greatness?
I'm not sitting there saying I don't respect LeBron.
You're watching like a part of history in sports history, and you watch exactly.
Okay. Well, anyone can probably get that if you're playing 20 years. I mean, come on. It took Kareem 20 years to get the record. So, of course, but he's played 20 years.
Have you been at your job for 20 years?
I mean, how many people are at their job? Not a lot of people are at their job.
All right, that's a hard thing.
But what I'm trying to say is, if you're sitting in the league for a long time, like LeBron, like Tom Brady, you're gonna break a lot of records.
But you have to be productive.
Okay.
Your body got to be.
Emmitt Smith hobbled around in Dallas for God knows how many years, and then in Arizona for how many damn years, and he knew he was well past his prime. He was limping around, just getting 20 yards a game, 30 yards a game, just until he broke. Hold on.
He had to
hold on. Just to break, just trying to claw and try to break Walter Payton's record. Walter Payton's numbers were not declining when he broke the record. And he did it in less amount of years than it took Emmitt Smith to break. Emmitt Smith played almost 20 years in the league. Walter Payton only played like, what, 12?
You know what I hear?
12 or 13 years.
One-dimensional person, man.
Okay.
Come on now. Everybody everybody that breaks
So,
the record.
I'm tired of
that
hearing-
holds a record for in Chicago is going to be broke.
I'm
son.
tired of
It's
hearing.
gonna be
I'm
broke.
tired of hearing. Oh, LeBron's breaking this record.
Okay.
LeBron's been in the freaking league for 20
Is
years.
that his fault that he's durable?
You're gonna be breaking records if you're in the league for 20
I'm
years.
pretty sure if Mike was that
I
durable,
mean-
he'll stay in the league that long too. So I mean, come on now, man. It's somebody that's putting his body through 20 years of basketball. That's a lot.
Okay,
And
yeah,
he'll still
I
be-
understand.
Still be top ranked
Look,
in
I-
the league.
And still putting up 30.1 points per game.
Exactly.
That's just for
Come
this
on,
year. Is
Come
he
on
averaging
now,
that for his
man.
career?
You just biased against teams.
You're
Okay.
talking about he's 30.
Yes, I am biased. I am biased against certain teams I don't like, and I don't like teams with players I don't like. That's just my
Overall,
opinion.
He's
But you gotta
I'm not gonna- I'm gonna give him-
Then you can't say you a
I'll give
basketball
him.
fan.
I'll give him his
You're
respect.
biased.
No, I'm a sports fan, and I speak my opinion. That's what the show is about. And so I'm gonna speak my opinion. I don't like LeBron James as a player. I mentioned this for years. I don't like him as a player. I don't like how he plays. I don't like he flops around and how he acts. I don't like it. I don't like his play. But that doesn't take away the fact, yes, I do respect him. He's gonna be one of the greatest players of all time. But that being said, doesn't mean I have to like him. I don't like him as a player. Off the court, he's a great man. He does a lot of stuff off the court. On the court, basketball-wise, no, I don't like him as a player.
But you would sweat
Okay.
Jimmy Butler like he's the world god right now. Come on, man, stop it.
I like Jimmy
Stop
Butler
it.
better than LeBron. Now
Stop
is
it.
LeBron Jimmy Butler is not
Stop
going to
Stop it.
break any records
You
that
would
LeBron
rather
set.
watch boring ass Tim Duncan do these like fundamental.
Oh,
moves.
I'm sorry.
But
One of the great.
And Tim Duncan didn't last.
Oh.
How long did he last in the league?
Tim Duncan played almost 20 years himself.
All right then. So what? How many records did he break?
He's 5-1 in the NBA Finals.
How many records did he break?
Doesn't matter.
How many records did he own?
He's the greatest. He's the greatest power forward of all time. So
Cap.
what the? I'm
Cap.
sorry, about to make me say
Cap.
something.
Cap.
You're about to make.
Cap.
Oh wow.
What is LeBron's position?
So
What is LeBron's position?
Yes.
So
What is LeBron?
So I'm sorry.
He is a power forward.
So-
All right,
sorry.
then. So Cap.
and,
Cap.
and we can't
No,
we can't
no.
forget about Charles Barkley.
What about Charles
Karl
Barkley?
Malone? You
Karl
can't-
about
Malone-
that?
Karl
What
Malone
about
was
that?
also a power
Karl
forward.
Malone?
No.
We can't say that he's
Tim
greater.
Duncan better.
He's greater
than
than
all of
Karl
them.
Malone?
Much yes.
Why?
Yes,
Because he
yes.
just has
Kareem,
those rings?
he better than Kareem too?
No, not better than Kareem.
Okay,
So
so
he can't be the greatest.
But
of all time.
he is
Right.
better than those other players that you mentioned. I'm sorry.
All right.
I'm sorry. And the most
That's
important
bias,
and
like
the
I
most
said,
important
one
stat
dimensional.
and the most important stat that matters above them all. I don't give a damn how many years you played in the league. I don't care how many points you scored in the league. I don't care about those records. What's the record that matters the most? The most important record. How many championships have you won? What's your record in the championship games?
nobody will be.
That
better
is
than-
the only thing. That's the only thing
Nobody
that
would be
matters
better
above
than-
anything.
Hold on, then nobody be better than Bill Russell because don't he hold one of the most?
Yeah, that man
the
has
most
right.
rings?
Bill Russell, but you know what Bill Russell
take
did?
Kareem.
But you know what they did?
So
They were great players, and they won lots of championships.
I mean, hold on, talk
but you
about-
also know what they did? They lost in the
so you're
championship.
telling me Robert Horry's like the best player
I've
ever?
had this
huh?
conversation with him. Also.
Because how many championships does he have?
Okay.
How many
Was-
championships does Steve Kerr have? I don't see them
role
in the Hall of
players,
Fame.
those are role players. You're talking about role players.
Man.
Stop
But
it.
but
Now you
talking
know,
about rings.
you
The
know
only
better.
thing- You
You
just
know,
said the only thing
you
that
know
matters
better.
is rings.
You know better.
Oh my God,
Now
you
you
just-
know. Now you know you're bullshitting right now.
Now you just
You
redid
know
it.
damn well.
Oh, now-
you
no.
know damn well.
Play the
You know
tape back.
darn well. You don't mean to be saying
Play
that.
the
You know
tape back.
damn well. You
Play
got to
the
sit
tape
there and
back.
point Robert Ory and
Play the
Steve
tape
Kerr.
back.
They got more rings
Play the
than
tape
they
back.
got more rings to say than Michael Jordan. Does that make them better than Michael Jordan? It matters. Is Michael Jordan was the god of
No.
basketball. You got Robert Ory was a clutch bench player. So was Steve Kerr. So they would not have won anything without Kobe, without Shaq, without Ori had the same players on
Okay,
there.
so it's a
Steve
team
Kerr.
game.
Okay,
Yeah, but you just
so
said
stop
it.
it. But what matters is when you're comparing these superstar players, the greatest of all time is where you want to go with this. Okay, what matters with being the greatest of all time is how many championships did you win? What's your record in the championship? Okay? I don't care about, Kareem was a great player, Magic a great player, Bill Russell, Wilt Chamberlain, Larry Bird, LeBron. Kevin Durant, Tim Duncan, all of them
Magic
are great.
Johnson.
I already said Magic Johnson.
my bad. Okay.
All of those players are the greatest players of all time. I'm not saying that. I'm putting Michael Jordan.
Isaiah Thomas, one of the greatest players of all time.
Yes, he is. He's voted one of the 75 greatest players. I think he's a bitch. But,
PG, keep it PG.
no,
PG.
I've already said enough. So this is gonna be an MA. I'm saying nothing, no different than what you can see on TV. They say bullshit and they say hell and damn and
get back on topic.
Anyway,
Get back on topic.
Michael Jordan is better than all of those players because one, some of those players won more championships than him. But guess what? This man went to at least six NBA finals and never lost. Not only did he never lose, he never went to Game 7. So I'm so sorry. And on top of that, he has the best average points per game in playoff history. On top of how many championships he's won, on top of how many finals MVPs he's won.
Okay.
So I'm sorry. That right there, those are the numbers that matter.
Okay.
LeBron playing 20 years in the league and being the all-time leader in points, that is a great accomplishment. But it does not make you the greatest of all time. He is going to go down as one of the greatest. I'm not taking that away from him. He is. Aaron Rodgers is going to be one of the greatest players of all time. I'm not taking that away from these players. That doesn't mean I have to like them. I don't like LeBron.
And when you see LeBron, just watch with your eyes closed. Just put your hand over here and just don't watch it all. Because
What do
you
you
don't
guys?
like seeing greatness. You just don't like seeing. Yeah, I'm not a LeBron fan. This is crazy because I am a Michael Jordan fan. And the reason why I think Michael Jordan is the greatest player in the world or ever, is because of the dog mentality he had. It's because he never wanted to lose.
Well, I watched
He
them
didn't want
both
to lose
play.
in card games.
I've watched them both play.
Nobody has that dog mentality that you will ever see. That's why he goes down as the greatest player. But talent, man, you gotta like to see talent because it makes you want to watch the game.
I like to.
If
I watched.
LeBron was not in
I
the
want to
league right
watch.
now, it'd be boring.
I want. No, it wouldn't. I like to watch him lose.
Oh my God!
You're gonna see more players develop.
You gotta have a villain. You gotta have a villain. He's your villain.
There'll be plenty of villains.
He's
You know,
he's your greatest villain.
Wasn't Kobe a villain at one time?
He was.
You gotta have a bad guy.
So I mean, come on.
But he's not really a bad guy because we're in the Midwest. Because we're in Chicago. But in LA or Cleveland, he's a god. Come on now. Now everybody thinks the same way. Now.
No, a lot of people like LeBron. I'm not saying that.
But you got.
I already told you I respect him.
I'm just saying.
I respect him as a player. I told you he's going to be one of the best of all time. He's going to go into the Hall of Fame.
I don't see the respect, sir.
I don't know what else you want me to say.
Well,
I don't know what else you want me to
your
say.
nickname for him alone speaks for itself.
I won't say the nickname.
You call him a biatch.
Exactly. So that nickname alone is total disrespect. Number two, I get everything you're saying about what Jordan did. What I'm talking about is longevity. Jordan retired 2 times and finally retired a 3rd time. On the 3rd time, he finally stayed out. There was time in between, those times where he wasn't playing. Who's to say that if he would have kept playing, that he would have stayed healthy and put up those exact numbers for those years? Whereas LeBron, for 20 straight years, has played and put up the same exact numbers up.
Don't forget.
Statistically,
he came right out of high school.
Yeah.
Jordan went to college.
What does that have to do with it?
You know what? We can't
I don't
compare.
understand
It's
that.
different time and era, man. They was beating down Mike, man. You
couldn't
couldn't
come
come to the hole.
I watched Mike play.
That's what I'm saying. There's different eras, man.
If he would have came right out of high school, Michael Jordan, went out of high school, and let's say he didn't retire, no times, who knows? He could have won about 8 championships, maybe. We don't ever know.
And he was durable.
And if he did, and he wasn't injured a lot,
Durable.
and if he would have played all the way through until he retired in 2003, he would have had 20 years. He would have beat Kareem's record.
You notice what veterans start doing when they get older? They slow the game down. You notice they start backing them down a little bit.
Yeah, that unstoppable fadeaway.
That's
no one can
that's
stop
when they
that.
all like DeMar. He doesn't rush his game. He goes right into his spot, take his spot, and boom. Every once in a while he'll dunk. He doesn't.
I'll give LeBron his credit. He's trying to play now because he wants to get his team in the playoffs. I guess he feels that if he can get in the play-in game,
I'm just saying,
he
he
might be able
makes
to get some.
basketball exciting, man. You want the best players in the world to be playing, and he's one of the best players in the world. You want him to be playing.
And he has been getting beat up too.
That's what I'm saying.
Even this season. I mean, man, he
He's
just sprained his ankle. What, 3 days ago?
Well, what's going to
Get
happen?
him off, and here he's
Father
back
time.
already.
But what's going to happen? What did I say? I said this how long? Older players get injured quicker,
Shoot.
and they stay out longer.
I'm in my 30s
So-
and I'm hurt, so.
So
You know what I
LeBron, the longer you play, which he's already almost 20 years in,
Yeah.
you are going to be more prone to injuries. You saw what happened to Kobe when he was split down the stretch of his career.
Yep.
He injury after injury. You know, LeBron may be built like a tank and durable most of the time, but the injuries are breaking. He's breaking down.
Yeah, it's break all of us. Though,
Okay,
man. All of us.
so,
We human.
You know,
Our
fine.
bodies break down,
He's only playing until his son gets in the league and he's going to retire.
Yeah.
So he has a couple of years left. You know, but you know,
But then who's going to be the new face of the NBA?
you got several
Giannis.
Yeah, true. Yeah, because
Giannis will be the
Yeah.
face of the NBA.
I think Giannis. Before it's all said and done, man, I think he got another 2 more rings in him.
Mm-hmm.
I
with
think he
Milwaukee.
I don't know what Milwaukee.
No,
but
that's what I'm saying. With Milwaukee,
Yes, he's not even Milwaukee.
He's starting to be able to shoot the ball now, and he's like.
Did you see that crossover he pulled up on Drummond?
Yeah.
He crossed him over, he stepped back, popped that.
It's a
three.
new thing, like man, you gotta have a big man.
That's
that
the
can,
NBA
Like,
now.
yeah, you gotta have a big guy that can do guard things.
Yep.
Like you got to. Like you, in order to be successful, you got to. You gotta have a big
well, that
guy.
I mean,
Okay, all our top players in the league,
No,
Embiid,
no.
Tatum, all of them are as tall as
well,
hell.
what I'm saying is, who won the championship last year?
Giannis,
Okay,
Tree. We might as well call him Tree.
who the bubble season? Let's not even count that.
LeBron,
Season
yeah,
before
let's call
that-
it Anthony Davis.
Season before that,
Davis
what was
is
it?
a
It was
team
Golden
Tree.
State, right?
Mhm.
Okay. But
Golden State, they didn't
shooters.
really have no dominant big man. JaVale
Draymond
McGee,
Green. I agree,
JaVale
bro.
McGee is not you saw a dominant big man,
Draymond
Okay.
Green plays that position.
but he is not a big man.
All right.
You're
He may not
talking,
be that
you
big,
know I'm
but
talking
he-
about
but
big
he-
Okay.
man.
but he plays
Okay,
that.
7
big.
feet,
But
6'10",
no, hold on,
6
time
feet.
out. You're missing the main part of that. Kevin Durant,
For those other 2 championships, yes,
big man. They were all big.
yes.
Kevin Durant, KD is tall as hell.
He's
He
tall,
can
but he's
shoot.
skinny, but he's a shooter. He's a
All
superstar.
all of them is tall and skinny, except for Embiid got a little bit more, like a little bit to him, a little size to him.
Yeah.
But they're all big men that can dribble the ball, take you in, shoot.
I mean, look at Cat. Cat's killing
Triple-
it with the threes.
yeah.
Won the 3-point contest.
Well, I mean,
Triple
we'll
threat.
see. We'll see what happens. This is what I was trying to show you. So Phoenix has the best record in the
Okay.
league. Now they're in the Pacific West, the Pacific Division.
Okay.
The same position as Golden State is. Look at their record. They're 62-15.
Yeah, I know
Golden
this is
State
second one,
is
yeah.
48-29, followed by the Clippers, which are 38-40. And you look at the other divisions. The other divisions are stronger than this division. This is a weak division in a way, other than Golden State and Phoenix division.
Really?
You look at the other teams in the other divisions, with Memphis in their division, with Denver in those divisions.
I'm gonna refresh I'm gonna refresh on
Those
that.
teams are in playoff positions. That's why Golden
I
State
don't
is not
remember it
clinched
being
yet.
brackets like that. I remember just being the top 7 teams getting into the playoffs and not.
It was the top 8 teams actually getting into the playoffs.
Oh yeah, top 8.
It's the top 8.
Yeah.
But what they did was several years ago, what was happening was the way the seeding was 1 through 8, but the divisions, there was 3 divisions or 4 divisions? I think it was 3 divisions. They would get the automatic 3 top spots in the league in the playoffs. Period. And what was happening is you would see, let's say, the Lakers would have the best record with 62 wins,
I know it's kind of like I know what you're.
and then the
talking about.
second team would be, let's say, a team in another division. Let's say Memphis. Memphis has 43 wins, and they're going to get the number 2 seed. Followed by the next division has the same 42 wins, and then you have the next wild card team, I guess, non-division winner team.
Mm-hmm.
They have they're 60 wins right along with LA, but they're going to get the number 4 seed. So they changed that. They changed it and said the top 2 teams with the best records. One is going to be a division winner, of course. The second team with the best records is going to get that number 2 seed guaranteed, and then followed by the division winners, whatever their record are. They just guarantee a playoff spot. But anyway, we've done enough of this, so we'll see what happens. Any news about that? We wanted to You want to quickly get into something with the some quick news in the NFL. Bruce Arians, Tampa Bay Buccaneers coach, resigned from his position and went up to the head office position. And
He's 69 years old, man.
well, yeah, I mean, I understand that, but he resigned and moved to the office. But you said he kind of what you're saying, Mike, is he kind of volunteered his position.
Yes, he gave it to a new head coach. Is that Bowles?
Mm-hmm.
Todd Bowles.
Yeah, I mean, I thought that was a great move for him instead of sitting there worried about having this guy bid for his job and possibly not getting the job that he deserves, because he was right next to Arians last year. He's a well-known coach. He had a coaching position before. Who did he have the coaching position
I think he was
before?
with
And it wasn't that great because, I mean, again, normally when these guys get a position like that, it's not usually the best opportunity. It's usually, a team that's skidding, not going anywhere. And, they give him something to take over. Now, he's going to inherit Tom Brady, the greatest quarterback of all time, with a pretty good lineup also for the rest of the team, wide receivers, running backs. I mean, they've been making the moves again so they can do another playoff run. This is going to give this man some wins on his record. They signed him, a 5-year contract?
Mm-hmm.
So that doesn't guarantee that Tom Brady's going to be there for 5 years, but this is going to be a head start. I thought that was a great move for Bruce Arians. Like Big Ant said, he's 69 years old. He's been out there. Last year he wasn't looking too great, running up and down the sideline. So he looked like he was done with it last year. I thought it was going to be his last year, his last coaching position last year anyway. But it's going to be good. It's going to be really good to see, another fresh face out there besides Mike Tomlin, with a successful team. And I'm excited to see what they do, and I'm excited to see, what records he's gonna put up.
Does it kind of remind you of when Pittsburgh had when Bill Cowher retired from the Steelers, and he had Mike Tomlin?
Did he give him the position?
Yes,
too?
they gave him the position.
Huh.
They gave him that position. They promoted him.
I don't remember that, but
Yeah, they promoted him.
I don't.
That's
Yeah,
because
I
Pittsburgh
thought
doesn't.
it's
They
been so
don't
long.
get rid of coaches like that. When they make sure they're going to make a head coaching change, that coach is going to be there for decades. So, yeah, that's how long Bill Cowher's been out the league, right? For a long time.
Yeah, he has been.
He's called Chin. I remember those days, Chin.
Done shit.
But yeah, I we'll see what happens. It's in this case, it's probably gonna be the same thing. He's got to go on a good competitive team, so coaching a good competitive team. So it probably won't be too much of a fall off, unless it's the talent.
What do you think is gonna happen with Colin Kaepernick?
They're not bringing him back into the league.
He's gonna have a throwing show.
But
in front of NFL scouts.
You know why NFL teams not gonna sign him? Because he's just gonna be too much of a distraction.
He's blackballed from the owners. Blackballed him. That's why.
The media is just gonna have it for him every single time.
Every game.
And that's what they're gonna make it about. It's just
Every
him.
game.
It's not more of his talent. It's just more of people that is not gonna be able to leave him alone and just let him play the game.
Maybe I think it has to do with the owners. All the owners are just
they
don't want him in the league.
Not only
They
that,
don't want him
they
in
don't.
there.
They don't. I don't think they want all that media and all that. It's gonna be crazy.
They know they were wrong to begin with.
And then fans
And then,
too, man. You gotta think about their fans. A lot of people not gonna wanna. You know how many people is just like, I'm not gonna watch the game if he's playing and things like that. It's just too much of craziness, man, madness. But I hope he does.
I hope he does get in the league.
I do.
I just think he's been blackballed from the owners.
Of course.
Because I'm pretty sure, I bet you there have been some coaches that probably wanted him, and the owners are like, nope. All 32 of them, they have their own little meetings, all 32 owners. And they just, we're not going to decide we don't want this guy.
What do you think about Tyreek Hill to the Dolphins, man?
I thought that was one of the biggest mistakes that your team could make. Look at when Tyreek Hill was gone last year away from this team. They were slumping.
They couldn't pay him.
When Holmes couldn't find no one to throw the ball to, they were slumping bad. As soon as he came back, boom, he's stretching the field like he normally does. He's the cheetah.
They couldn't pay him. They couldn't pay
They
him.
could have paid him. Why would you let him
They could
go?
go-
He's
they
your
could go with
best.
the salary
He
cap
is
if they wanted
your
to.
best wide receiver. To me,
That's like Devontae Adams, though. I mean, come on now.
First of all, I don't think you followed what I was saying about Devontae Adams. Devontae Adams is not going to perform like he did in Green Bay.
I disagree.
When he goes over there.
He's gonna
We
do better
talked-
than
yeah,
Tyreek Hill.
we talked about it.
He's
We
gonna
talked
do
about
better
this
than Tyreek
last
Hill.
week.
Let me finish here. Derek Carr is not Aaron Rodgers. He is not going to be throwing the kind of balls that Aaron Rodgers throws in the kind of pockets that he throws because he does not have that kind of skill. I am sorry.
60.
So it's not going to happen. Devontae Adams is going to be another forgotten name, just like all the other quarterbacks all the other wide receivers that Aaron Rodgers previously had before.
Wow.
You know,
He's a
they're all household names when they have.
How
Aaron
much is he
Rodgers.
getting paid?
And
That's not. I don't know about that. How much is he getting
Oh,
paid?
yeah. He's gonna be
How
getting
much
that
is he
money.
getting paid?
He's getting that money because Aaron Rodgers was tossing him that ball for all these years.
We'll
That's
see.
why. That's why.
I
We're
mean,
gonna see it next
He
year.
still got to grab the ball out the air.
I bet you that
still
number.
gotta run the
I bet
routes,
you those
too.
numbers are gonna be
Yeah, because it's the
way
person
lower.
that's throwing him the ball.
Way lower.
And they gonna be double.
But he's gonna be getting his money. So hey, get your money, man. And
Well,
lose.
Well, with that being said, we're gonna one last thing to discuss here, since we're going on the hour here, is
the slap.
the slap heard around the world.
Yeah, because I have to throw it in there because I watch a lot of sports and I watch sports shows and podcasts, and you know what? Everyone's talking about it. And to me, Will Smith had a pretty athletic move to that slap, and Chris Rock also showed a lot of athleticism taking that open-handed slap, so graciously, and it stood up there and it continued with his show. So that was pretty athletic moves. So I'm gonna go on ahead and talk about that. Now, here's my problem. That's not what we want to hear. Stupid ads. But here's my problem with this. So this man, he's attending a show that he's gonna win an Oscar. He already knew he was gonna win the Oscar. They sat him right front and center all night long. Everyone's getting roasted, just like as they do at every other show. Emmys, Oscars, MTV Awards. It doesn't matter where you go. BET Awards. Someone's coming out and they're getting roasted because that's what happens at the shows. So they talk about this man's wife, and it wasn't that big of a joke. It was basically because of she shaved her hair because she has a syndrome where it causes baldness in certain spots. So she decided to just shave her head. This is a super rich woman that if she wanted, she could put a wig on, but she decided that, that's how she wants to wear it. She's not going to hide it. No offense to that at all. No problem with that at all. But they make a joke about the G.I. Jane, which was Chris Rock's joke. Will Smith, which was laughing right along with the joke, turned around, saw his wife not happy, rolling her eyes at the joke, decided to take it upon himself, get up, march his way up to Chris Rock, which Chris Rock was not expecting anything malicious, and gets like a dual slap, like I challenge you to a duel, and it's like, bow. It was loud. I was watching it, at home at the time, and I thought it was all just an act myself because Chris Rock took it and he continued the show. He even made a little crack about it, like, wow, this is the greatest moment in Oscars history, and the crowd was laughing. I thought it was all the same until Will Smith starts cursing loudly twice to keep his wife's name out of, his effing mouth. That's when we all knew that this was real. Now, everyone's jumping on Will Smith. Oh, I'm sorry, not Will Smith. On Chris Rock for making this joke. First of all, this syndrome is not life-threatening. This is something that, yes, you do suffer from it, but it's not like she had cancer and she's dying from it and he made this lewd joke. Now that I can understand, hey, dude, that's wrong. But a joke like that, with all the other jokes that I heard previously in the Oscars, he went up there and smacked them, went back and accepted his award, his very first Oscar. Me, I am anti-black on black violence. So when I see something like that, one, I applaud Chris Rock for not jumping on him as he was walking away and having an all-out brawl, because I'm pretty sure a lot of people would, for that kind of embarrassment in front of your family that's there, family members, your kids, the world watching, for this embarrassment to happen to you, that was a lot of self-control. But it just looks bad for us as blacks. They invite us out there, they're giving us some awards, and here we go, black on black violence. Here we are fighting each other. I have never seen anything like this at the Oscars. I'm not saying that there's not been other bad actors or that have done worse, or outside the screen, but on screen, on stage, at the Oscars, I've never seen anything like that before. So today, actually, he went on ahead and he retired, or he resigned from the Oscars committee. Basically, he's not going to be nominated for an Oscar for a while, and he's probably not going to be making movies for a while, because this is Hollywood, and you know how it is. They don't like you. You did something wrong, you're going to be blackballed. Ask Jennifer Hudson. What do you have to say about this?
Well, I think Will Smith, what he did was classless. I thought it was a bitch-ass move. I'm not gonna lie. And then he should have been arrested. Before he'd been thrown out, he should have been thrown out and arrested. I'm hearing that they asked him to leave and he said no. I'm like, well, if you don't leave, we're gonna throw you out of here.
Yep.
You're gonna have someone else get your award. Someone else gonna present the award.
Yep.
You're not gonna get it. We'll give it to you in the mail or whatever. Get out of here. And then if I'm Chris Rock, I'd press charges on him and I'd sue him. What he could have done is, if Jada wasn't happy about the comment, it should be a compliment. You're talking about G.I. Jane 2. You should take that as a compliment. G.I. Jane was a bad, she was badass. So you should take that as a compliment. She had that look, that disgusted look on her face.
Yeah.
Why are you even there? To be honest with you, let me get on her for a minute. We're talking about Jada, who is, let's be honest, she's irrelevant. She hasn't made a hit in 20-something years, probably. She was in this last Matrix movie, which is, before that, she was in the last Matrix movie 20 years ago. What has she done since? Nothing.
She was on Gotham.
She's on nothing. She's irrelevant. No one's even heard about her. She wasn't that A-listed actress to begin with. She has this attitude like she's owed something. You ain't owed nothing. And I'm pretty sure you probably treated Will Smith like a punching bag anyway when you're at home. So he saw that look on your face like, oh boy. Oh, so I don't hear it at home. Let me just get up here and make myself look like a fool. And like Will Smith, because he probably doesn't even stand up to her anyway. Get up there and ruin my career because of her. When you could have just said was, you could have when the show was over in the backstage, you could have probably confronted him about it, Chris Rock about it, that you didn't really like it, which you did like it because you were sitting there laughing.
Yep.
You could have said, well, she could have said it, you could say, oh, Jada didn't like it, so I just want to tell you that. Or it could have gone on social media like everyone else does and display your displeasure for it. But what you do is you go up on worldwide television where hundreds of millions of people are watching this, walk up, assault this man, and then act a fool sitting down and say, keep my wife out your effing mouth, What is wrong with you? Just to prove to her, this woman didn't she screwed around a man that's like kid that's 30 years younger than her? Give me a break. Really?
And she exposed it on national, in front of everyone. Had Will Smith crying last year. Remember last year? That was the most downloadable meme was Will Smith with tears in his eyes after she had her entanglement with August Alsina. She put it out there that I was having an affair with my son's friend that used to come over to the house, and we were handling business in bed in the house. Yeah. Everywhere in the house.
And you're going to go up to Chris Rock and slap him while he's actually not even making a joke really about your wife. I think
that's what it is. I think for the past year, he's been getting, basically treated by the media. He's being punked everywhere. And finally, he just decided, you know what? I'm not gonna be a bitch on TV again. They're talking about my wife. Now I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna have to handle business, not knowing that this is gonna end your career.
And this is supposed to be the night of your career.
Yeah.
You make it the death of your career, damn near. It seems like.
Yeah.
Is what it potentially could happen.
The man that made plenty of movies that he's gonna get royalties from, so I don't think he's gonna be missing out. His whole family makes money. I mean, from daughter to husband. I mean, daughter to son.
What about future movies? We're not talking about what he made in the past. What about future?
Nah, he done made plenty of movies.
I know, but obviously, he's not done. Obviously, he has plenty. He probably make plenty more movies.
It's called producing.
But who's gonna want
behind the scenes?
But who's gonna want to take that when they see Will Smith's name by it?
Oh,
they're gonna say they may say no.
Who doesn't?
Colin Kaepernick's gonna happen, man.
I think y'all predicting that wrong.
I'm not saying I don't know if that will happen. I think that he probably will make movies, and he's probably let this blow over for a couple of years.
Does he not have enough money to make his own movie?
He can, but he got to produce. You got that production. It's
not what you know. It's who.
I just think it was a classless act.
More than enough plugs.
And Chris, if I'm Chris Rock, all that nice money you're making, I'm gonna take all of it. Assault, and I press charges on you. That's what he should do. That's what I would do. But he shows class. Chris Rock showed class because he didn't retaliate, even though he was completely assaulted in front of his family, his friends, in front of hundreds of millions of people around the world. I think that Will Smith should be punished for this. And I think Chris Rock should have pressed charges on him and sue him for mental damages, reputation damages.
Yeah,
I mean, come on. That's what I think. Why should Will Smith get a pass?
He didn't slap a female. He slapped a grown.
So what? Why should he get a pass on doing that, assaulting someone right into? You don't have the right to put your hands on somebody.
Not getting the pass. It's just.
I don't know why people want to defend him. I wouldn't be defending him. He assaulted someone.
Yeah, agreed.
Because you can't hold your composure. What composure? You were sitting there laughing at the joke.
It's rich people problems. Unfortunately, I wish I had that problem, but I don't. So I'm not gonna get in their business
your business is all out. When you are in that industry, your business is out there. That is part of the business. Right. Is your business. Yep. So that's how that works. That's what they signed up for.
That's who he loves. That's who he want to be with, and
that's fine. If he wants to be a sucker, it's good to be a sucker.
I mean, he done made his money.
Be a sucker. Yeah. You know why? You know what it is? He knows he has to kiss her ass because once she puts up those divorce papers, in California, half his stuff is gone because she's gonna take half of it, if not all of it. He's gonna need to make movies to make up the money again.
We'll see.
And Will Smith, let's just be honest, Will Smith ain't that type of actor who's generating $300 million films anymore like he did back in the 90s and the early 2000s.
Still making his money.
He'll still make money, but he divorces Jada. That money is gone.
Yep.
And she looks like she's the type of person.
Bad Boys movie didn't make a lot of money.
I don't think that
did
they make a lot of money?
Yes, it did.
Well, I think he's a bum. I think he's a douchebag. I think he should get charges pressed against him, and he should get sued.
Well,
and that's all I gotta say about him.
You gotta look at what's gonna happen in the future. Also, from this point, this opens doors for you can't roast somebody no more without worrying about somebody coming up and copycatting what he did. The award show that didn't have security before now are gonna have security.
For the celebrities,
present because we might be there, we might just act out again. There's gonna be a lot of changes that are gonna be made, and also for rules for assault over there because I was really surprised that he smacked this man and when it sat down and no one did anything about it.
Hey, unless it comes out there was all an act for publicity.
I hope not.
I don't think so.
Because then anyone would be far.
No. You think it was real?
I thought it was real.
Oh no, I think it was real.
I'm pretty sure it was real.
Come out as fake. So,
but yeah, so we're at about the end of our show. We had a lot to talk about. Had a lot of NBA talk, some NFL today, and definitely the slap. We did about a good 10 minutes on that because it's hard not to talk about. And I'm still going to be following and see exactly what goes on with that. With that being said, I do want to thank you guys again, checking us out. Thank you, Anthony, for coming in, guest starring with us on Sports Opinions with Regular Guys. Check us out on Google Podcasts. You can catch us on Spotify, Catch us on iTunes podcast. Just look up Sports Opinions with Regular Guys. You're going to find us. And, of course, on YouTube. Look it up. If you have any questions, comments, or anything like that, please go on ahead and leave some. We'll be happy to cover any questions and answer, or, stop on by. And again, thank you so much. Appreciate you. Frank, anything you got to say?
Oh, no, I said everything I had to say. Just watch our shows. Leave a comment if you want to.